This is like the most classy car you can get on the budget, and they are incredibly underrated because a lot of people don't even know they exist. I mean, just look at this thing. You can't tell me it's not gorgeous. So if you wanna know more, just keep watching. They're from the late 80s and might be just one of the prettiest cars of that era. And well, it's a Beamer. It's the BMW 7 Series E32. They were built from 1987 to 1994, so they're nearly 40 years old by now. And I gotta say, I really love them. They are just so unique. And if you look at them, you'll notice that they are pretty old. But it's not in a bad way, it's in the perfect way. So it still has like the OG styling of BMWs. That's why I'm calling it the most classy car. It's the second generation of the 7 Series, and they had the design language back then. So you get that one ongoing sideline, they have the OG headlights, the small and beautiful grills, a boxy but elegant design, and it just has a special kind of presence to it. Because if you look at it, or like at least if I do, I see what BMW design stands for. A big luxurious car with their unique design language. And to be honest, I can't really explain it, but it just looks perfect. And they're also actually really nice to drive. I mean, BMWs are like always driver cars, and it was like that even back then. So even though they look like a luxurious giant boat, they handle quite well, and they have some really cool engines. So you can of course get basic inline 6s, which are quite reliable, then they come with V8s or even a V12. It's not like they're fast or anything, because they are like heavy as fuck, but they still get you going. And I mean, as a luxury car, they are not made to go fast. They are made for cruising on the highway, or to just get driven around in them. But if you sit in the front seat and drive them, you might be quite happy that they come with 5-speed manual transmissions. Yep, only back in the days. In a modern car, you just get automatics, and they are just plain boring. Though they are comfortable, gotta leave them that. But now imagine you're sitting in this beautiful car, a nice V8 under the hood, and a 5-speed manual, cruising down some back roads in perfect comfort. It's just nice. But if you want that extra bit of comfort, I mean, you can still get 4 and 5-speed automatics, but it really takes a lot of the engagement away. And I honestly feel like if you get a car of this age, it should not be an automatic. It just takes part of the soul away from it. But if you decide to not drive it, but instead sit in the rear seats, you feel like in your grandparents' living room. Super comfy leather seats, a lot of space, but it feels dated, though that's like the character of this entire car. But being a 7 Series, it doesn't matter if you're driving it or just chilling in there, you will feel comfortable. They have like that old style of car seats where you just sink in when you sit down, that don't support you too much when driving a bit faster around corners. But it's so nice. It really feels outdated of course, because it is. But just that simplicity inside of them and the sheer size of it, where you don't get distracted by like some big iPad on the dash, you just feel peaceful. So they are like a really nice daily driver. And you can also just build into like a VIP cruiser to have fun with your friends. And whenever you pick someone up, they're gonna feel blessed that they have you as a friend or family member, or maybe as a sibling. I of course am just some random kid talking on the internet, but I wanted to talk about this car for quite some weeks by now, because I just think they deserve more attention. I think about that with like 80s and 90s BMWs in general. I mean, they have like this kind of sweet spot in my own heart. So if you don't think that I'm just talking shit to you and maybe want to see more of this kind of videos, just subscribe. Why not? I mentioned a while ago that they're pretty cheap, but at least for American people, there is a little twist to that, though you gotta wait a little bit to learn more on that. Okay, in Europe they are quite cheap. I mean, BMW is based in Germany, so you can get them for like a couple grand over here. I've seen some for like 1 or 2k in decent condition, but like they are rare. I basically don't see them on the roads even here in Germany. But in the US and A, it's even worse. Like if you look on Automotive, there's like 2 or 3 cars you can even find. And like those are fucking expensive. But if you take a look at classics.com, you'll see that there are some selling, and quite a few of those for like 4k and less. But most of them go for like 10k, which sucks. Especially if you think about maintenance with those cars. Yep, they're not indestructible. But to be fair, they're like 38 years old, and even when buying an LS400, you can't expect everything to work. But I mentioned like a few problems these cars can have. Okay, on the V8, the timing chain guides can just fail, which sucks, which is like a pretty common issue for 80s and 90s BMWs. Then also the valve cover can leak, PCV valve fail, cooling issues, blah blah blah, some electrical stuff, and something that can get really bad is rust. Back in the days, you know, body panels weren't really built out of aluminium or zinc. So cars of that age, rust. It's pretty natural, but so incredibly annoying. So it might just be the most important thing to look out for when getting one, because there are some that are exceptionally well preserved by their owners. They were garage kept, have high mileage because they are driven and actually maintained, but there also are a lot of them that just sat around for quite some time in some guy's backyard and have moss growing all over them. And while those can be quite a cool project to take on, it's a ton of work. And because of their age, a lot of the parts are really expensive or you can't even get them. So with a lot of things, you really have to just look on eBay, maybe get some parts used, or check out some junkyards maybe. And something equally as important is a general mindset when getting one of them. You should be ready to take on some work yourself. You can basically expect that something will go wrong at some point, or that if you get one, you need to do maintenance stuff, like spark plugs, coils, all of that stuff. And BMW mechanics are hella expensive. So be ready to learn something about those things, be prepared and have the knowledge already, or just have friends and family members who can help you with that. Or otherwise, you might go broke pretty quickly, and that would make this cheap car quite expensive. And neither you or me want that to happen. For those of you who already know my channel and maybe watched some of my previous videos, I just want to quickly tell you that I changed a lot with this video. Usually I write scripts and just read off of them, but this time I've got like 12 key points and half of them are the engines. So this is basically like all improvised. So if you don't mind, just comment down below if you like it better or not. It's like an attempt to make my videos feel more natural, because I myself thought that it's like pretty boring sometimes. And things like exact horsepower numbers, I get them from Wikipedia, so if you want to know more about them, you can just do that yourself. I don't know how often I said that I love these cars, but they are just so incredible. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever seen one in public, but whenever I see a photo or video of them, I just think like, goddamn, they are beautiful. And while I do love the E39 and E38, they can't beat the class of the E32. I genuinely feel stupid trying to describe it, because I have no idea how to do it, but I hope you get what I mean. But speaking of those cars, which are like the next generation of BMWs, just check out these videos right here. This one is for the E38, which is the next 7 series, and this one is for the E39, which is the 5 series, and basically the smaller brother of the 7 series. So have a nice day,